Good morning and welcome to another edition of How to Care for Your Garden here at impactharvest.org, where we are changing communities one seed at a time. In today's edition, we're going to be focusing on how to plant your tomatoes to give you the best chance for success. The first thing you want to do, and I like to have, and I highly recommend, is having some Epsom salt. This is going to help produce magnesium and uptake for the plant, and we want to get this into the soil before putting the plant in. You only need about a tablespoon, so I like to get a nice large clump. And there's two ways to go about doing this. You could dig the hole and just drop it in, or you could sprinkle it into the dirt and you could just kind of till it in with your hand, and the plants will uptake that as needed. You can even add a little bit more. So I got a 10-gallon pot here, so I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons because I'm sprinkling it around and I want to mix that into the soil, and then the roots are going to go out and take that up. The second thing is you're going to grab your plant, and you should have a nice beautiful looking plant, especially if you bought it from us here at Impact Harvest. And you should have something that's about 1 foot to 1.5 feet tall by this point in a nice pot. First thing you want to do is take a look here at the plant. And you're going to see all these little hairs. These are actually roots, or wannabe roots. So tomatoes typically in the wild would grow along the ground. They're not going to stand straight up because they're long and heavy. And as they grow, they're going to produce more roots, which is going to help uptake water and nutrients. It's going to produce more fruit. So we want to take advantage of that system within the tomato to give it the best chance to have a good harvest. First thing we want to do is pinch off, not tear. We don't want to tear. We just want to pinch the leaves off right here off the bottom. All right, so you want to get, it's about half the plant. I just took all the leaves off the bottom half and only left the top half. For some of you, it may be the top third. Second, we want to pull the plant out. We should have a nice, good looking root system. And here's what we're going to do. If you're doing this in a garden or in a container, it's the same method either way. We want to take advantage of putting the plant in. It's going to be in the ground like this. Some of you might want to go deep, and that's fine if you have good nutrients in your soil, but some of us have shallow nutrients. In a container, I don't have depth, so I'm going to focus on this. So you don't plant the plant where you want it to come up. Plant it to the side. Get a nice little deep hole here. And then what you're going to do, see I go down sideways, and I work it like this. And as you can see, getting that plant nice and deep, I'm going to bury it up. And you can see that's all that's sticking out of the ground. That plant is going to take off. It's going to develop an amazing root system and do very, very well. And also, you might notice that our soil, you want to make sure it's well moist before you put the plant in the ground. You don't want it soaked. You don't want mud. And you want to wet your pot, so you want the potting mix wet and you want your soil wet so that you have good uptake when you do this. We have here a 50-50 mix of topsoil and mushroom compost, and this is already broken down. And if you follow us or in an area, then you probably bought this off of us here at Impact Harvest, and that's going to help your plants. You're going to have amazing plants this year. If you didn't, I highly recommend you look into that for next season. In comparison, what we're going to look at real fast, we have a pepper here. So that's how tomatoes go in. Peppers, on the other hand, which are a nightshade just like a tomato, but they don't have these. They are not going to go in the ground. Most of your other plants, for instance, are going to go in the ground just like you would expect. You would put the hole right where you would want the plant. You're going to go down right to the top edge of the potting mix. You're going to bury it just like that, and you're done. So that's it. That's how you plant a tomato. That's how you plant a pepper. And that's pretty much how you would plant anything else. So you want to look for those little hairs. Not many plants have them, but that's how you do your tomatoes. In our next edition, we're going to talk about pruning and how to string up, trellis your tomatoes and peppers and different plants to give you success on caring for them in the garden so they don't take over everything. So until next time, see you later.